Hi everyone, this is Autopostrophe. I realized that I actually haven't gone through a full playthrough of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was waiting for the Japanese language option to appear, but that appeared months ago. So let's try this again. Ugh, gives me memories of Evil Within. I used to have a hard time reconciling how a world where all this advanced technology kind of coexists with this medieval style fantasy, but then I just said I'd be willing to accept that maybe this world where all of this stuff exists just developed differently than ours.
それはシーカーストーン。長き眠りから覚めたあなたを導くでしょう。
I think I actually have that cover for my Switch. Sheikah Slate, a mysterious tablet with a glowing center. You've never seen this device before, and yet there's something familiar about it. Well-worn trousers. These old trousers are threadbare in spots, but they're surprisingly comfortable. The legs are a bit too short, though. An old shirt. A thin shirt made long ago. It's coming apart at the seams, but it's better than nothing. The sleeves are a bit on the short side. I know, it's like, well, did I grow, or what? Was I much younger before I hit that little thing? Before they set me in my resting place?
Seeker Stone をかざすのです。それはあなたの道を開くもの。
Authenticating. Sheikah Slate confirmed.
あなたはこのハイラルを再び照らす光。今こそ旅立つ時です。
You know, what an incredibly unusual gamble for Nintendo to make this kind of game. Something that they're not known for. Something that they most people thought they would never be good at, to make an open world game. And a genre which isn't, you know, not particularly that popular in Japan. And then to hit it out of the park on the first try, man, that's there's some incredibly good luck and skill involved. And then not only to hit it out of the park, but to do something which nobody else had done, even within the open world genre. Tree branch. Wooden branches such as this are pretty common, but it's surprisingly well balanced. Doesn't do much damage, but can serve as a weapon in a pinch. Use your weapon. Attack with your equipped weapon. Oh no, we won't use this for that long though. Hell no. Hylian shroom, a common mushroom found near trees around Hyrule. Eat it to restore half a heart. Oh, I have a half a heart. And I think the stylized look of this game allows it to be a little bit more acceptable as far as the being compared to other games on modern systems, you know, with higher fidelity and more effects and resolution. But I think this one still holds up on its own. Still looks good, even if it's not the most perfect thing. Belated rhino beetle. These beetles raise sharp horns, demand that you handle it with care. Boil the horns alongside monster parts to concoct an elixir that will raise your attack power. Let's see, change weapon. You can switch weapons quickly. Press and hold that, or that. Press and hold this, and this. Yay! Of course, the frame rate isn't perfect, but I don't think there exists a single open world game where the frame rate is perfect. That's kind of the nature of the genre. Apple, a common fruit found on trees all around Hyrule. Eat it fresh or cook it to increase its effect. Well met, stranger. It's rather unusual to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm just an old fool who's lived here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? And where are we? Answering a question with a question. That's fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. That temple there, long ago, it was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. I shall be here for some time. Please let me know if I may be of service.
Link.シーカーストーンのマップに示された場所へ向かうのです。
Check the secret slate. Go there. Follow the secret slate. From out of nowhere, you hear a woman's voice speak to you. She instructs you to head to the marker displayed on the Sheikah slate. The slate is both alien and somehow familiar to you. You find that you can access its map by pressing the minus button. Ding ding, do the thing. Torch. This torch will stay lit once ignited, but if you put it away, the flame will be extinguished until you light it again. Ooh. Well, then, just help yourself to that torch there. And how, may I ask, are you planning to use it? Set things on fire. This is rather unnerving. Please be cautious with that around any dry grass that might catch fire. You know, there are plenty of monsters in this area. That torch would make a good weapon, if need be. However, do not just swing it around without purpose. You must face your opponent and lock your sights on them. ZR, or ZL, lock onto an enemy. Hey, get off my apple. I know, I targeted it just for a second. Just for a second. Really more on there? I thought I could roast the apple now. Baked apple. Direct heat has softened and sweetened this apple. Eat it to restore 3/4 of a heart. I beg your pardon. I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go about and take whatever you please. Forgive me, I could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame make for a succulent treat. I'll take my apple back. I will take my apple back. Ooh, that's right. By fire. Woodcutter's axe, a woodcutter's tool of choice for felling trees. Its formidable weight and uneven balancing make it a slow, inefficient weapon. Oh, that's right. I put some mushrooms on there, huh? Toasty Hylian Shroom. A Hylian Shroom toasted to perfection. The taste and fragrance are amplified, restoring more health to its consumer. You can throw weapons in your hand. Aim with the right button and release. But why would I throw this thing? Oh man, I just got it. That makes no sense, man. Slime ball. Choo-choo jelly, a gelatinous substance that came from a choo-choo. It's unusable in this state, but applying a bit of elemental stimulation will change its form. I liked Choo-Choo Rocket way back in the day. What? Bokoblin horn. The severed horn of a bokoblin. A creature often encountered in the plains of Hyrule. It isn't edible, but it can be tossed into a stew and some critters to make an elixir. Choo-choo jelly. Red choo-choo, a jiggly substance that normally comes from a fire choo-choo. It consistently gives off heat. If struck, it will explode in a ball of flame. Choo-choo! Look at that bat drop. It still looks gorgeous. I like how the temple isn't even the thing we're supposed to explore. You know, it's supposed to be way out here. But we're going to go to the temple anyway. I'm honestly surprised with this game. They resisted the urge to tell you that you picked up the same thing over and over again. Boko Club, a crude Bokoblin club made to clobber small prey. It's essentially a stick, so its durability is low. There's one thing Nintendo is notorious for is the overuse of information, of repeatable information. You know there was somebody out there with an itchy trigger finger that wanted to keep the repeated information on. was like, but what do people forget what that means? What that does? I was like, nah, they won't forget, man. Just leave it alone. Roasted bird drumstick. Raw bird drumstick that's been cooked to a crisp, skin and all. It's devoid of seasoning, but it has a simple, accessible taste. Restores more hearts than the raw variety. Yeah, keep that in a barrel. I'm sure that tastes fine. Who knows how long it's been there? Maybe for 100 years. Seems kind of brutal, doesn't it? It's almost kind of sad the way they scream. I mean, I don't feel sad for very long, but still. High-tailed lizard. Lizard found throughout Hyrule. It's a bit slow to react at times, but if given the chance to escape, it will dart off quickly. Cook it with monster parts for a speed boosting elixir. Hylian trousers, traditional dress trousers of Hyrule. The plush fabric makes these trousers quite comfortable, and their high durability makes them ideal for travelers. And somehow they're the right size. Like, the only size that exists in this world is the size that Link is. I'm not complaining. It just seems odd. Whoop. Oh. Fine. Be that way. Oh, Temple of Time. Ugh, these bastards. Definitely don't have any fond memories of you. I don't know, some door, huh? I don't know what it is about the abandoned temple setting. It's really intriguing. You know, like those first explorers that were looking in the Andes for civilizations, and they're finding Pumapunko. But it had been found in a very unkept state, you know, while there were still people living there. It wasn't well maintained. Bokoblin Fang. A tooth obtained from a Bokoblin. It's worn down and not very sharp, but it's still pretty hard. Cook it alongside a critter to make an elixir. It's actually kind of shocking when you see the original pictures from Pumapunku. They look like, well, honestly, much like this. Except with lots of vines growing everywhere. A bundle of 5 common arrows. The shafts of these arrows were carved from the wood of a sturdy tree. Traveler's Bow. A small bow used by travelers for protection. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can be used to attack foes from a distance. Attack with the bow. Draw the bow, release the fire. And I've turned on motion controls for all the aiming. I really like the motion controls. I don't know, people have such a hard time with it. Though if you have like a disability or something, then I can understand not liking motion controls. Or if you have hands that aren't steady. It's kind of nice to have the option though. The goddess statue smiles upon you. Like I said, I wonder how these meetings went. How they were pitching this game, to be so drastically different from any other Zelda or any other game in Nintendo's staple. I mean, this is actually nothing like Nintendo to make a game like this. There are bits and pieces of elements where they've strung other portions of games made by them and their affiliates, but they've never done anything like this. It's quite a gamble. And originally was going to appear on the Wii U. And maybe had that game become something that was available early in its life cycle, the fate of that system would have been a little bit better. But, it's okay. It boosted the Switch instead. Which is just fine, the Switch is a mighty fine system. And the AI in this game is crazy. I mean, these things really do behave kind of all unto themselves. They're only aware of you when you get in their vicinity. But other than that, they lead kind of lives unto themselves. And see, hot-footed frog. A quick frog that can be found hopping around near water. Cook it with monster parts to draw out a speed boost effect. There's just nothing Link won't eat. He'll just eat the shit out of everything. In the original release, I've seen many, many funny things happen with these bokoblins. I mean, they're sort of hilariously stupid outside of their fighting environment. Boko shield. A bokoblin made shield created by attaching a handhold to any flat tree bark picked up off the ground. It's pretty shoddy, so don't expect it to last very long. Raise your shield with ZL when you're using a shield, which I am not. Traveler sword, a very common sword, often kept by travelers to fend off small beasts. It's fairly durable, but still unreliable against monsters. That's right, I can't carry any more stuff. Place the Sheikah slate in the pedestal. Come on, Link, you just saw one of these things. Sheikah Tower activated. Please watch for falling rocks. Yeah, I was getting knocked out, Link. Great Plateau Tower. Distilling location information. Oh, you got my tablet wet. Regional map extracted. Follow the Sheikah Slate complete. Like how there's that little bit of cartoon sweat too. It's like, my, it would seem we have quite the enigma here. This tower and others just like it have erupted across the land, one after another. It is almost as though a long-dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. If you do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop that tower? I heard a voice.
Ooh.
Well now, a voice you say. And did you happen to recognize this mysterious voice? Nope. I see. Well, that is unfortunate. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle. That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly, and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil, but just barely. There it festers, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. I must ask you, courageous one, do you intend to make your way to the castle? Yeah, sure. I had a feeling you would say that. Here, on this isolated plateau, we are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death could be more certain, or more foolish. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Paraglider? Oh, piqued your interest, have I? Yes, I didn't come soaring down here on my own feathery wings, you know. Worry not, I will happily agree to give you my paraglider, but not for nothing. Let's see now. How about I trade it for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? The isolated plateau. Open the adventure log. Your adventures will be detailed here. Come, let me show you something. Let me walk slowly to show you something. Do you see that structure there? The one shining with a strange light. It began glowing the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I would think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Go on, fetch me any treasure you find inside that shrine. I am looking forward to your successful return. I do love the shadows of the clouds passing overhead. It really is a nice touch. Strangely enough, it's not something that a lot of games do. They just don't calculate those shadows. Woman Owl Shrine. Travel gate registered to map. Access granted. Ruby, a precious red gem mined from large ore deposits found throughout Hyrule. Rubies contain the power of fire and have fetched high price since ancient times. You who set foot in the shrine, I am Amun Ao. In the name of the goddess Hylia, I offer this trial. Magnesis trial. Sheikah Slate authenticated. Distilling rune. magnesis. Manipulate metal objects using magnetism. Grab onto metallic objects using the magnetic energy that pours forth from the magnesis rune. Objects held in the magnetic snare can be lifted up and moved freely. Rune extracted. Use the selected rune for your seek slate. I do like these middle, these like mini puzzles that they came up with instead of full-blown dungeons like previous Zelda games. I wouldn't say I like it more than a traditional Zelda game, but I do like it. So we'll see if they decide to continue to do that with new games. Ancient Spring, a spring used in ancient machinery. It is light and buoyant enough to float on water, and no matter how many times it's compressed, it never loses tension. An ancient screw, a screw used in ancient machinery. It's made of unknown material, and no matter how many times it's turned, its threads never seem to show signs of wear. You have proven to possess the resolve of a true hero. I am Aman Ao, the creator of this trial. I am a humble monk, blessed with the sight of a goddess Hylia and dedicated to helping those who seek to defeat Ganon. With your arrival, my duty is now fulfilled. In the name of goddess Hylia, allow me to bestow this gift upon you. Please accept this spirit orb. Spirit orb, a symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the challenges of a shrine. May the goddess smile upon you.
Ho-ho-hoy!
It seems you managed to get your hands on a spirit orb. Well done. How'd you know? Clairvoyance. Or perhaps there's something similar. As one gets older, it can become more difficult to see what is right before one's own eyes. However, that which was once hidden from view can often be crystal clear. But perhaps that is not true for everyone. The appearance of those towers and the awakening of this shrine.
Ooh.
It's all connected to that Sheikah slate you carry on your hip there. What do you mean? It has been quite some time since I have seen that Sheikah slate. Long ago, a highly advanced tribe known as the Sheikah inhabited these lands. The great power of their wisdom saved this kingdom time and time again. But their ancient technology disappeared long ago, or so it is said. It is interesting, however, to think how something like that survived all this time, hidden away in a shrine. These shrines are tucked away in numerous places all across the land. On this plateau alone, I believe there are still 3 more. Bring me the treasure from each of those shrines, and I will give you my paraglider. So I need more now? I said treasure, but I never said there will only be 1 treasure. Whether it's 1 treasure or 4, what's the difference for a young go-getter like yourself? Since I'm feeling generous, I will also teach you a trick for finding shrines. It's always best to survey the area by looking around from a high point. Let's see here. How about make your way to the top of that tower again? Yeah, sure. I admire your eagerness, but allow me to teach you something else before you go. Take a look at the map on your Sheikah slate. See those blue icons? You should recognize the cave where you woke, the shrine you came from, and the tower. You can travel instantly to any of those places with the Sheikah slate. Or so I heard quite some time ago. I do not know if it actually works as such. I'm surprised it took you so long to catch up with an old man like me. Did you fly here? So you think an old man like me needs to fly to stay ahead of you? I still have a few tricks left in me. Now then. I wanted you to join me up here so you could use this as a vantage point to search for shrines. Did you know about the scope on your Sheikah slate? Look through it, and you can stick a pin anywhere you'd like to mark it on the map. Scopes and pins view distant things and mark them with pins. The pins on your map serve as a reference points for your travels. Just stick a pin anywhere you're interested in. How do you know? Just a few tricks I've picked up after many, many years in the wild. You may take my advice or leave it. Go ahead and take a look take a look if you feel inclined to do so. Having trouble finding the shrines? Ah, fine. If you still wish to acquire the paraglider, you must put in the effort. I will simply not give it away, you see. Ah, you're such a jerk. Such a jerk. Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is audapostrophe. You've been watching Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.